From censored files to clear evidence, this is Redacted Realms.
Truong My Lan considered SCB as her personal money storage. The Van Tin Phat case with Truong My Lan as the mastermind has attracted public attention recently. A hotspot in the case is Lan's use of Saigon Commercial Joint Stock Bank, SCB, as a separate tool, a place to keep money for personal purposes. How serious were the consequences of this behavior? Best purpose in doing this? Truong My Lan purchased shares of banks including Danyat, Kin Nia and SCB. To comply with state bank regulations on share ownership not exceeding 5%. So she only registered ownership of nearly 5% shares in each bank. She had relatives register ownership of the remaining shares to control the banks. By the end of 2011, Truong My Lan, chairman of Tin Phat Group, owned and controlled a large share ratio, including 80.46% of Danyat shares, 98.74% of Kin Nia shares and 81.43% of SCB shares. This shows she had significant influence on the bank's operations and decisions, although she only registered ownership of a small portion of shares. With substantial control and ownership at SCB, Truong My Lan could use this bank as a tool to withdraw large amounts of money for personal purposes. She then assigned the task of managing shareholder lists and share transfers to Ta Chu Truong, who was authorized by her as General Director of Van Tin Phat. Mr. Truong contacted Dang Phuong Hoi Pan and Van Tin Phat staff to perform transfers and ensure new shareholders were relatives, not exceeding the 5% ratio as regulated. Costs and personal information were provided by Dang Phuong Hoi Tan, head of the Board of Directors Office of Van Tin Phat Group, from 2012 to 2022. SCB Bank had lent and disbursed to a total of 1,366 customers, including both individuals and organizations. Among them, Truong My Lan's related customer group received over 2,500 loans from SCB, with total disbursement amount exceeding 1,066,000 billion Vietnamese. Her group accounted for 93% of the total loan amount, while the remaining 7% was for regular customers. Notably, all these debts belong to the irrecoverable group. The disbursement amount from SCB to Lan's group reached 1,066,000 billion Vietnamese dollars, accounting for 22.6% of Vietnam's GDP as of the end of Q3 this year. How did Truong My Lan control their cash flow of loans at SCB? Truong My Lan admitted that during operations, she played an important role in directing and implementing credit transactions and managing debt at SCB Bank. Specifically, she directed credit management staff at SCB to deploy loans and disbursements for her customer group when facing difficulties in debt repayment. Truong My Lan directed SCB staff to find solutions. Lan, chairman of Tin Phat Group, used personal assets or acquaintances to secure and continue borrowing money from SCB to resolve previous loans. Disbursed loan amounts were used to repay principal and interest, SCB operating costs, repurchase of mortgage projects, and pay other fees. Bank money withdrawal tricks. Lan used thousands of individuals and organizations colluding with appraisal companies to create shell companies named in loan transactions. Additionally, Truong My Lan conspired with others to create fake assets or legally insufficient assets to secure loans from SCB. Most of Van Tin Phat Group's loans were disbursed before signing credit contracts and valid mortgages. Ms. My Lan and her accomplices used assets that did not meet legal qualifications or inflated asset values to secure loans from SCB to avoid detection by authorities. The chairman of Tin Phat Group directed the establishment of a fund withdrawal by creating fake share transfer contracts to use the money without facing inspection and handling from authorities. From February 2018 to October 2022, Ms. My Lan was accused by investigators of creating 916 fake loan applications at SCB Bank. corresponding to 545 trillion Vietnamese dollars, and appropriating nearly 304 trillion Vietnamese. Ms. Lan is also accused of causing interest loss damages of nearly 130 trillion Vietnamese dollars, compared to Vietnam's GDP at the end of Q3 this year of about 4.7 quadrillion. Considering banking industry operational indicators, this figure is also notable at 2.4% of total credit debt in the entire economy. 12.75 quadrillion VND as of the end of Q3, and equal to 11% of total debt. This amount is also equivalent to the total assets of a medium-sized bank in the current market. We can see this as a large-scale organized financial crime case, operating very elaborately, causing serious consequences for Vietnam's banking and financial system. Ms. Truong My Lan's actions are illegal and need to be strictly handled. This case is also a warning lesson for banks and individuals intending to manipulate inappropriate banks. What do you think about this case? Please leave a comment for Good to Know. Thank you for listening. Goodbye and see you again.
If this file opened your eyes, subscribe and open the next case.